In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Canon 18-55 kit lens for M series cameras, and I'm going to share my thoughts on what I like and what I dislike about this lens, and also if I think it's a worthy purchase. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So here it is, folks, the Canon 18-55 f3.5 to 5.6 EF-M lens, released way back in 2012 and is designed specifically for EOS M series cameras. Now, looking at the build quality, this lens has an EF-M mount made of metal as well as the body itself, and to me this lens has an overall better build quality and a better field in comparison to the 15-45 kit lens, which has a plastic body. The lens has a standard 52mm filter thread. It's small, compact and light, weighing just 200 grams, and boasts up to 4 stops of stabilization so you can get smooth handheld footage throughout the focal range. Also, for those wondering how small this lens is, I've actually compared it to the 7 Artisans 25mm f1.8 lens. So it's not quite as small, but it feels lighter and I would have no issues carrying this lens around all day. Now, seeing that this was a cheap lens, I was expecting a slow, sluggish, stuttery zoom throughout the focal range and a typical unnatural focus by wire feel, but I was completely wrong. The whole feeling of this lens was absolutely amazing. I was pretty much surprised when I got this in my hand. The focus zoom is smooth as silk and the aluminium focus ring is buttery smooth as well, with no latency and a very even rotation. It's so good, it feels like a manual vintage lens, and I couldn't be more happy with the overall build quality. Now, I bought this lens for $80 off eBay and I just wanted to test it out and see for myself how good it really performs as a standard kit zoom. Now, in all honesty, I wasn't expecting much great performance coming from this lens. I had the 15-45 and just had a bad experience with that one, but getting this lens cheap, I just thought, why not spend it on the 18-55, see how it performs, and I was completely blown away with the performance. The quality coming out of the 18-55 is actually very good for a kit lens. The colors are natural and organic. You can easily achieve a cinematic look out of it without much work in post. I even tested vlogging in RAW and I was very pleased with the overall image. Although the detail and IQ isn't up to scratch in comparison to, say, a prime lens, I was absolutely amazed at how you could still achieve such a filmic look with an inexpensive kit zoom lens. The low light performance also surprised me as I was editing the clips and found that there was minimal noise in the shadows, especially when shooting within a forest with minimal light. It just held up very well and I was really pleased with the results coming from this lens. Now, for those wanting to take photos with this lens, here are a few shot samples with the 18-55. As you can see, beautiful Canon colors straight out of the bat. The lens has a lot of sharpness, and so I find turning that option down in camera is a generally good idea. Now, detail and sharpness is good across the whole range. I did notice some chromatic aberration, especially when shooting wide open at f3.5, so it's probably a good idea to stop it down to f5.6 for optimum performance out of this lens. Alright, so here's my Canon EOS M. This is what I used to shoot the photos and the videos. And speaking about videos, I edited them all in Davinci Resolve, and all the clips were graded through it using my workflow that can be found in my other video. As you can see, not much was done to get a good look out of the files. I mean, this wasn't even edited yet. The colors were just there. So before I share with you what I like and what I dislike about the lens, here is a collection of footage that I put together with the Canon EOS M Magic Lantern RAW and the Canon 18-55 kit lens. Take a look. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the things I like and dislike about the Canon 18-55. Number one is build quality. I mean, for a kit lens to have a metal body is pretty outstanding for the price. It feels sturdy in the hand, the zoom and focus ring are super precise and buttery smooth. The image quality is fantastic and beautiful. Like I said, it's organic and less work has to be done in post when you're color grading, you know, skin tones and stuff like that. Everything just comes out nice and beautiful, so for a kit lens to offer that sort of stuff is an absolute gem. Now, although the EOS M isn't an autofocus camera, I mean, the autofocus isn't that great, but for photography, it actually works really well. It's quick to focus on the subject, whether I put my hand in front of the camera or just focus on individual subjects like that. Focus was fast, smooth, precise, had no issues with that. Continuous autofocus on the EOS M original is probably not the best idea. On something like the Canon M50 or the M6 Mark II, then autofocus will be superb on those cameras with dual pixel autofocus. Alright, so now looking at what I dislike about this lens, and to be honest, there's not much. So what I dislike is probably the chromatic aberration, you know, shooting wide open. You see like the purple or blue colored outlines on objects or subjects. I mean, it's not always there, but if you shoot wide open, it can sometimes appear, and it can sometimes be an issue if you're looking for a perfect image. Now, it's not so much of a problem for photographers because you can enable chromatic aberration correctors inside your camera, but if you're doing video, then it's gonna appear if you're shooting at f3.5 or around there. But that's pretty much it. The Canon 18-55, to my surprise, is actually a great kit lens choice if you're choosing to travel light with one or two lenses like the Canon EF-M 22f2 or the Canon 32 f1.4. I would easily choose this over the 15-45 kit lens and can highly recommend this lens to lightweight on-the-go travelers or filmmakers who want an affordable zoom with stabilization and a standard focal range. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's my thoughts on the Canon 18-55 kit lens from Canon. All in all, man, it's a small tiny lens. It's not going to break the bank, and if you want just one lens to shoot around photos and video, then this is a fantastic option and I can highly recommend it to you guys. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.